It is the 30th of June 1934, and Adolf Hitler had served as Chancellor of Germany for the past 16 months. By now, he nearly had unquestioned power. However, he faced opposition from Ernst Röhm's brownshirts. As such, Hitler sanctioned a horrific crackdown. Röhm and his numerous SA leaders were executed by members of Heinrich Himmler's Schutzstaffel. Only 1 month later, and after the death of President Paul von Hindenburg, the Austrian would become the undisputed leader over Nazi Germany. This is the historiographer, and in this video, we will explore how, on the night of the 30th of June 1934, Hitler secured power over Nazi Germany, where this night infamously became known as the Night of the Long Knives. By May of 1934, Hitler had served as Chancellor for 16 months and held dictatorial powers for 14 months after the passing of the Enabling Act in March of 1933. Yet, two significant hurdles persisted on his path to unchallenged power. Firstly, he faced the force of his longtime associate, Ernst Röhm, the head of the SA, or Sturmabteilung, also known as the Brownshirts. The SA possessed both the numbers and the lack of discipline, posing a potential threat to Hitler's regime. Before gaining power, the SA played a crucial role, serving as a tool to undermine the power of the Weimar government via orchestrated violence. By provoking communists and socialists, they instilled fear in these groups, which often resulted in violence. However, once Hitler consolidated power and passed the Enabling Act, the SA became a hindrance, as he solidified his role via his overall, initial, peaceful and rather slow revolutionary methods. The SA's disruptive tactics, best demonstrated by Ernst Röhm's ideology of a violent revolution, no longer served Hitler's agenda and damaged his image of projecting peace and order. What proved more valuable to Hitler were Himmler's SS, capable of carrying out enforcement tasks with efficiency and discretion. To add insult to injury, Ernst Röhm sought to integrate his forces into the emerging Wehrmacht. This proposition clashed with the staunch opposition of the conservative-minded generals, who vehemently opposed any tarnishing of the army's purity by the SA. In his book, A Concise History of the Third Reich, historian Wolfgang Benz states, the socio-revolutionary dynamism of the SA clashed with Hitler's tactic of the slow completion of the total state, and Röhm made Hitler increasingly aware of this. In 1934, he criticized Hitler's incomprehensible leniency towards reactionaries and his apparent failure to have cleaned the house ruthlessly. Secondly, President Paul von Hindenburg of Germany remained alive and in power, possessing the potential to end Hitler's ambitions by transferring power to the Reichswehr. Aware of the usefulness of military might for his foreign policy objectives, and careful not to alienate the Wehrmacht's generals, Hitler opted to sacrifice Ernst Röhm. In Hitler's eyes, Röhm had to go. Accusing Röhm and his black shirts of orchestrating a coup, Hitler sanctioned a horrific crackdown. During the night of June 30th, 1934, numerous SA leaders were executed by members of Heinrich Himmler's Schutzstaffel. Several other adversaries of Hitler met their demise. These included, among others, Kurt von Schleicher, the final chancellor of the Weimar Republic, Gregor Strasser, who held significant influence within the Nazi Party until 1932, Gustav von Kahr, a former Bavarian separatist, conservative critic Edgar Jung, and Catholic professor Erich Klausener. Meanwhile, Vice-Chancellor Franz von Papen narrowly evaded becoming a victim, but he was promptly relieved of his duties. The purge resulted in the deaths of at least 85 individuals, though the total number of killed individuals may have reached into the hundreds, with some estimates ranging from 700 to 1,000. Further, over 1,000 perceived opponents were apprehended and detained during the course of the purge. The military leadership, mostly represented by Minister of Defense Werner von Blomberg, was very impressed by the swift and efficient eradication of Röhm and his SA associates, thereby shoring up support for Adolf Hitler. As for the big target, Ernst Röhm, He was imprisoned in Munich, while Hitler considered his future. On July 1st, Hitler ordered Röhm's death. SS Brigadeführer Theodor Eicke and SS Obersturmbannführer Michael Lippert paid a visit to Röhm. Inside the cell, they gave him a Browning pistol and told him that he has minutes to kill himself. Röhm replied, "If I am to be killed, let Adolf kill me. Lassen Sie Adolf mich töten." Having heard nothing in the allotted time, they returned to Röhm's cell at 2:50 p.m. to find him standing arrogantly. The two SS members then shot Röhm, killing him instantly. Shortly after Röhm's death, Hitler pursued a violent policy to the question of Austria's union with Germany. With directives from Berlin and active support from the German legation in Vienna, Austrian Nazis staged an insurrection on July 25, 1934. Yet, the coup failed to achieve its primary objective. Hitler disavowed any involvement in the coup, extending his condolences to Austrian President Wilhelm Miklas. The subsequent German envoy to Vienna, Franz von Papen, had the objective of re-establishing amicable Austro-German relations. Finally, Hindenburg's passing on August 2, 1934, marked a pivotal moment in Hitler's rise to power. German generals consented to the consolidation of the presidency of the Reich and supreme command of the armed forces with the chancellorship under the power of Adolf Hitler. This completed the process of power consolidation initiated barely a month earlier with the Purge of Röhm and the SA. Henceforth, the Third Reich operated as a totalitarian entity, with Hitler assuming the roles of head of state, commander-in-chief, and leader of the only political party. In short, Hitler's purge, known as the Night of the Long Knives, remains an important moment in the history of his regime. The purge enabled Hitler to eliminate dissent, assert his authority over both the Nazi Party and the German military, and solidify his position as the supreme leader of Nazi Germany. It sent a clear message of fear and obedience throughout the regime, effectively quelling any remaining opposition to Hitler's Nazi ambitions. If you like this video, then consider subscribing to spread history. This has been the Historiographer, and for now, see you in the next video.